Eagles fans, welcome to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center, where there is a sweltering 85-degree heat wave in the arena. The rest of the area out here, record cold, but not to be outdone. No. URC Arena Manager, little desert hockey here on a Saturday night. Welcome back, everybody, to Eastern Washington Hockey. It's been a long, eventful couple of months since we've talked to you, but we are back here. A little smoke floating across the ice here. Lots of changes in the lineup for Eastern Washington. We'll talk about that today and throughout this weekend, as tomorrow is senior night here in Cheney. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, Eastern's got their work cut out for them today. The number one team in the West, who's had some incredible wins. They're Montana State always in the national championship conversation. And Eastern really looking to make their mark here this first game of winter quarter. And Gary, what are you expecting here from the Eagles? We see a couple new familiar faces, I guess. Brody Roach transferred from Washington State, and Sean Smith back out there for Eastern Washington.
Well, I think both those players are going to help Eastern out tremendously. I quite frankly think Eastern's going to give Montana State more of a battle than what maybe some people think. When last time we were on the air, which seems like in August, Eastern was really showing a lot of progress. They played well against Missoula, University of Montana. And so, but I think the additions are really going to help. They got some new net minors. Mr. Crew got the day off today. He'll be in net tomorrow. So I expect Eastern to give him a battle.
Now here's a shot by Isaac Hood, turned away out front. And now Ryan Carew looking from distance, kicked away into the corner by the starting netminder, Nikolai Wallery for Montana State. It's a 6'1", 180-pound right-handed netminder from Helena, Montana. So a local boy, relatively, for Montana State. Not something, as you look across their roster, Gary, you see a lot of. You look at Eastern's roster, you can see where they've been recruiting. It's been Washington State and on the East Coast. You look at Montana State, and I'm just going to Helena, Montana, Ketchum, Idaho, Denver, Colorado, Edna, Minnesota, Crosby, North Dakota, Haley, Idaho. They do a really good job of finding those kids wherever they're at.
Yeah, they're all over the place. When you were reading them off, I was looking at them. But I do want to mention, I think what's really going to help Eastern, it was Sean Smith coming back, and I want to see if he's on a line with Lusk. That'd be a power line. And then you got Roach, who what you were talking about.
Well, and I believe that Brody Roach is actually a Tacoma Rocket that played on that team with Lusk and Sean as they were growing up. So
they're really familiar with you. But Smith is an outstanding hockey player, and I know last year watching that line from the West with Lusk and CB, they were a force, and they were young. So I'm real interested in seeing how that pans out. I think it's only going to help Eastern. And I think with Brash, I've been impressed with Brash all year. And I think so. He's a solid netminder.
Well, and he'll get his chance to show his worth here tonight for Eastern Washington against one of the best, if not the best team in the country right now, the Montana State Bobcats.
But again, Eastern, the way they've been playing, they have more than gradually, they've shown improvement quite a bit week after week after week. It was good they had that break. I think they were going to get wore down a little bit. But now here's the time to get ready for that Pac-8 tournament that's coming up.
That tournament coming up the second weekend in February here at the URC. A tough hit there, and that's going to land, looks like Sam Thompson in the box. Looks like that was Lucas Solinik.
Yeah, I think Sam thought he was a little bit further away from the boards when he hit him. And it was a great call by the official. I mean, that was definitely a penalty. There's no doubt about that. Even though Sam tried to disagree with it, but now when he sees the replay, he's, oh, yeah, I can see where I got it.
Anytime there's a boarding penalty like that, the player always thinks that the other player can't skate. Always. Doesn't matter the level. It's definitely due to the other player's inability to stand on their skates and not the check from behind in the boards.
And I've yet to see a hockey player really ever agree with it when they get called a penalty. There, even though it's blatant, it's like, no, I didn't do that. Yeah.
Now here comes Montana State on the power play for the first time tonight, looking to build it up out of their zone. in the white and blue and gold uniforms, moving from right to left across your screen. Eastern's had their chance on the shorthand this season, but Montana State is almost unstoppable on the power play this year.
And that's where Eastern's got to be careful. They don't want to go shorthanded against these guys too much.
Shot taken from the top of the zone by Lane. He's actually the team's leading scorer, 22 goals, 18 assists for Zach Lane so far this season.
But you see right there, Sean Smith instantly come out. He blocks the shot. I mean, he did that a ton last year. Smith is just a tremendous upgrade for Eastern. But you were talking about MSU. I was looking at the roster, and I was thinking, okay, who do we got to look for? And I started looking at their lot. There's some people. They got a lot of people that got a lot of points.
They do. And you look at guys like Vinny Farina, who has 28 points on the season, but only 6 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to watch him and his passes, especially through the zone.
Well, there's some playmakers. I mean, you got Zachary Lane, Hayden Clem. You know, you mentioned Farina. I had him written down there, and then I stopped looking because they all had like 20 points or something like that. So obviously this team doesn't care about their individual stats. They want to set their teammates up, and that's how they got so many points.
And there you saw Cole Best getting in the face of Wallery, or Wallery getting in the face of Cole Best, and Cole just knocking the glove out of there.
And you're seeing Roach right now, how he plays. He's already banging in front of the net. So he looks like somebody you're not going to play around in front of their net. He's gonna hit you.
30 seconds left on the power play. Puck sent all the way back to Wallery. He's going to set up behind his net. There to pick it up is Davis for the Bobcats. He's going to bring it up the center of his zone, gains his own blue line. Hofacker looking to catch up, but now Owen Davis on the far side. He's going to bring it behind the Eastern Washington net, still in possession. Drops it off to Brownell, now over to the far side. Shot taken, and a race to the puck as Davis gets it in, but he's knocked out of the zone by Hofacker. Penalty expires, but Eastern still on some tired legs out there. Looking for a stoppage here. Montana State still looking to take advantage of these tired legs and finally sent the length of the ice, but that's going to be an icing as the penalty had expired, so that'll give Eastern a little bit of a break, but not enough to get some fresh skates onto the ice with 14-15 left to play in this opening period. Eastern 1-for-1 on the penalty kill so far.
Well, I'm hoping what Eastern picks up on. They did a great job of that a month ago. They were setting up their plays by their defense when coming out of their zone, and I want to see how they neutralize that neutral zone against Montana State. If they can do that, they're, like I said, they're going to give Montana State everything they want, and that's taking nothing away from the Bobcats. They're an outstanding hockey club. I remember from last year, and they don't seem to skip a beat year to year.
Clem wins that faceoff for Montana initially, but he's tied up right away by Lusk. Carew knocked off of his skates, but Flood going to try and send it down the ice. Eastern can't get it out of their zone. Still on a little bit of tired legs, and Brash wisely holds on to that, giving his team a chance to get some fresh skates out there. It doesn't look like Eastern's going to take advantage of that. So early on in the game, still feeling fresh out there. It's 5.5 minutes gone so far. Shot taken from the center of the faceoff circle by Hayden Clem. A high puck finally falls down at center ice. Eastern had overskated it. A chance for numbers here with Montana State. Picking it up right out front is Clem. Brash somehow keeping it out of the net. Montana State with it. Circles back over to the far side. And you can hear the crowd get behind the Eastern Washington netminder here. Montana State looking to bring it right up front. They've always got a second floater there, Gary, right at the top of the crease.
They do, but I was sitting there watching Roach, and I remember when he played for the Cougars, I was so impressed with him. And just watching right there, how he positionally, his hockey IQ is unbelievable. He knows exactly where he needs to be. He was helping Brash out in the net, but he always had that floater, what you were talking about. He had an eye on him, and actually he hit his stick a little bit before he got a clean shot. Roach is a major find for Eastern.
Now here come the Eagles the other direction. Hood with it on the far side. Looking to get past one man. He does, but has to put it too far in front of him. So the Eagles have to regroup in the defensive or in the offensive end. And now here comes Montana State the other way. They're going to say that wasn't touched, or it was touched. So they're going to say no icing here. As catching up to the puck, that time it was Felt. Pushed up to the top of the zone where Miller's going to take a shot. Montana State always finding a guy in the slot. Somehow that one finds its way in. Brash thought he had it, and it just slowly trickled past him. And just like that, Montana State finds the back of the net for the first time. 5:35 of this first period.
And Brash did think he had it. He didn't even realize that it went in. And that looks like Phelps has scored it for MSU. And then he looked toward the very end when he saw Montana State celebrating, and he noticed that it went in behind him. But Brash is a solid net miner. He forgets things really well, which you have to do when you're a goaltender. Move on to the next one. It was one of those goals that just happened.
Montana right back at it, back behind the end line of Eastern Washington. Now heading out the other direction is Cole Best. It's going to bounce out into the neutral zone. Just past Hood, but now here comes Cole. Cole on the left side, looking to make it to the center. Looks for that shot and can't get it off. Again, Eastern just a couple of inches away from having a 1-on-0 breakaway against the netminder there in the zone. Chipping it up the ice a little bit are the Bobcats. There to pick it up is Phelps. He scored the first one.
But I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Eastern. They before, like in September, they would hang their heads. Right now, they're attacking Montana State U. They're not giving up at all. And that's a great sign for Eastern. It really is. They are in an attack mode.
Puck won by Eastern on the far side, between the legs of the defenseman, and now Carew looks to push it up ahead. He gets it to Belair, who swipes that down the ice. Not going to make it to the end line, but Hofacker there to give some pressure. Puck out into the neutral zone. Bringing it across the line is Jurgensen for the Bobcats. He's going to try and take it towards the goal mouth, and he's able to go backhand 5-hole on Brash. This goal coming 7:54. So just a minute and 19 seconds after the first.
There was just a little breakdown in the D zone over here by Eastern. There was an innocent enough play, but you can tell Montana State U, they never let off the gas. They're just going to keep on going and going. But even though Eastern's down by 2, they're playing a solid game right now. They're holding their own, and if they can get that puck in the net, that might bode really well for them to get some more energy. But right now, I like what I'm seeing out of Eastern.
Thompson tries to put that through the zone. It's knocked down by a Bobcat. Now on the left side, bringing it up the wall. There was 3 white uniforms. Here comes Flood the other direction. He's going to take it all the way to the wall and then dumps it down deep. Thompson going to give chase. And he's not able to get there first. Now Montana State having to build out of their own end again. Bounces over to the near side. Trepesky with it. He's going to try and leave it off for his own man. Can't get it there. Trepesky again in the middle of the neutral zone. Pushes ahead finally to Clem. He's going to take a shot from a little bit of distance. And feeding it back in as Miller. Playing with it a little bit as Tierney finally gets it up the wall. But Eastern unable to get it back out across that blue line with any possession. Man coming into the zone on the far side, unmarked, gets that shot off for Montana State. He's going to go back behind the net. Feeds it up top now. With it is Miller. Miller for the Bobcats. He's going to set it down the low wall to Solonic. Solonic to Miller. Miller puts it out front. It deflects kind of awkwardly off of his own player. Eastern really just trying to get this out of the zone here. As a Montana State Bobcat a little slow to get up. It looks like that was Solonic. He's heading back to the bench. Eastern holding onto the puck for just a minute. Sends it down the ice. There to pick it up is the Bobcat captain, Reese Phelps. Ellingson across the blue line. Spinning around out front. Puck loose near the slot and nobody able to corral it. Now a turn shot taken by Brownell. With speed now on the backside is Mundell. He's going to bring it up to the near side. Hood looking to get there first. Broken stick on the far side, impeding traffic. And we'll see what they blew this dead for. Looks like the official wasn't sure that door was shut all the way. So also gives Eastern Washington a chance to get that stick back onto the bench.
One thing I've noticed right now in the last couple minutes, the Bobcats, they have the Eagles running around rather than doing what Eastern did the first 5 minutes. They were playing great positional hockey. Right now, they need to go back to that because the Bobcats are definitely going outside the circle, and Eastern's chasing them. And just get back to where they were earlier, and they'll be in fine shape.
A little bit of banging going on as
there's some repair going on.
There's a little repair on the board. So the official saw something over there. A good eye by the official.
Nothing good sledgehammer can't solve right there.
But really, there's not a whole lot that a good sledgehammer can't solve anywhere.
Really?
It's like the duct tape of hand tools.
But I haven't seen it work on the board with a sledgehammer before. But yeah, why not? It worked. They got the game going.
There's another stoppage here.
But Easter just needs to settle down a little bit. You know, get back into where they're supposed to be. Start looking for some anticipatory passes. Open up the passing lanes for themselves. Just settle down a little bit.
.9:45 left to play in the first period between the Montana State Bobcats and the hometown Eastern Washington Eagles. Eagles trailing 2-0 so far early in this one. Battle for the puck in the Zamboni corner on the far side. Now looking for that pass right out front. A couple of Bobcats missed that. Eastern Washington getting away with one there. A couple of unmarked men at the top of the blue paint. Now a race to the puck. Davis going to get there first for the Bobcats. And he's going to send it right to Brash from center ice. We see Roach now playing it off to the far side. He's looking to get it back off of the wall. He pushes it ahead. He's able to get it ahead far enough to Belair, who backhands it into the zone. The East are looking to get some new skates out onto the ice. That one's touched up and sent behind the net. Wrong way pick by Lane Eriks there, but no harm, no foul. Now Flood going to look to chase it off the wall. Bringing it back the other way across the blue line is Jorgensen. Jorgensen tips it right into the chest of his teammate Pereira. Now knocked off of the puck again is Eriks. He's got to give pressure on the far side. Off the wall, looking for a shot from the point. Through traffic, dangerous puck, but well read by Sam Brash. Parent knocked off of the puck for a moment by Tierney. Now he's going to take it out front. Parent looking for the wraparound. A big leg save by Sam Brash.
Great job by Brash on that one. Again, Eastern was running around. What Montana State's done a nice job. They got Eastern's defensemen chasing them. And so, in other words, like on that play right there, both D-men went after the one guy rather than stopping, and that's what gave him that open shot on there. Again, I mentioned it earlier, Eastern just got to get back into playing positional hockey, and they'll be fine in this game.
Puck sent back down the ice. It was tipped, so there'll be no icing. Wallery's going to hold it off for his own man, giving chase hard for Eastern Washington is Lund. Puck stuck at the blue line. High dump down into the zone. Hood having to battle hard, but the Bobcats come away with it. Shot on the far side. Bounces right back to the stick of Pereira. He's going to try and put that again into the netting.
Well, I like what I'm seeing. You know what? The Bobcats are doing really a nice job of when they get in the neutral zone. Eastern's clogged them up pretty well. Now they're just floating the puck really high in the air as soon as they cross that red line so they don't get an icing on them. And that's how they're attacking that neutral zone. You got to give the credits to Bobcats on that one because Eastern's done a nice job of going man-to-man with them in the neutral zone, but the Bobcats are just floating the puck into Eastern's end, and that's how they're breaking it.
It's worked for them so well, and they keep getting these pucks right at the top of the zone. And Brad Baker, Jay Oyen, they see that. They've planted a player there, but it doesn't seem like it stopped the shots a whole lot, Gary.
No, they may have to go to the body more to try to get, which they were in the first 3 minutes. Eastern was using their body quite a bit, especially in front of their net. They may need to go back and do that more often to just try to slow down the Bobcats in front of the goal.
Another shot, this time from the face-off circle on the far side. Bobcats back with it. Looking to take it towards the center. Stepping up was Trepesky on the far side. Now here comes Eastern Washington the other way. They have numbers if they want it. Hofacker unable to hold on to that, so he's just got to chop that down into the corner. Trepesky looking to bring it up the near side wall. Tierney keeps it in for a moment, but floating away on the far side was Zach Lane. And if I had to guess, that's how he's ended up with 22 goals this season, is getting lost when all the action's on this side. Dylan Miller now, he's going to bring it in off the wall, up to Belair. Belair chops it in, but can't get it any more than about 10 feet inside of the Montana State zone. Brownell across the blue line. Makes one man miss, has a man in the middle, has another one now. Montana State doing a great job of putting guys right in the slot. Eastern doing a great job at defending that. Good dump down the ice. And they're going to say no icing, as hitting the wall hard there after losing his skates was Colin Buchanan. Action heading back the other direction now. Montana State gains the zone. Roach loses his stick. They're going to call it a high stick, as the first team to touch it actually is Montana State. So no high stick. They're going to take it towards the goal mouth. Lifting that one was Bronell. And there is a Montana State Bobcat in the Eastern Washington net. I had looked away there for a moment, Gary. I'm not sure how he ended up there, but he is not... it looks like it's Solonic again on the ground near the goal.
He had a little help.
Did he?
Makes sense. He had a little help.
That may be brash for just showing him around the house.
The Eag decided to put the body on him, and that's what happened. But
so rightfully so, a little angry.
But Eastern's going to have to start coming up with an attack, because if you look at the shots on goal, 18-2, Bobcats' favor. It's been an offensive performance by the Bobcats. The Easterns kind of got away from what they were doing in the first 5 minutes, and if they just settle back down, do some stretch passes, loosen up Montana a little bit, they might be able to get back into this.
Well, one thing that Montana State's always done really well is played a very physical game.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that I don't know if it's just not in their game plan tonight, but it seems to be missing from their game tonight. And that's somewhere I think maybe Eastern might be able to step up, especially in front of the net there. Throw the body around a little bit and see if you can make something happen in the transition.
Well, what the Bobcats are doing an excellent job down low is they're zigzagging. And that's what's getting Eastern confused on the defensive alignments, because that's all it is. They're just zigzagging right at the very end, and there's an open guy.
Big save by Brash from distance. That one up from Best to Hood. Hood off of the wall. He's jumping over a player, and then Best trying to send that down the ice, but it ends up on the bench of the Bobcats, so going to have to reset in the neutral zone. Eastern maybe a little rusty on the breakout.
And you know, you expect that there's a layoff. I don't know what Montana State's done, if they've had any games in recently. But I tip my cap to Brash right now. He's played outstanding. 2 went in on him, but he's made some outstanding saves tonight.
Well, and both of those pucks just trickled in.
Yep.
He got 95% of them. Now the Bobcats heading back the other direction. Losing it in his skates was Parent. Yeah, it looks like we'll have a tripping minor against the Bobcats. So Eastern Washington, our first chance on the power play.
I think Jake Parent was the one that he laid a big hit on Tank, but the referee said no. But now here's a great opportunity for Eastern to put some sustained pressure in the Bobcats zone. They got to move the puck around, and they have the talent to do that, but this is a golden opportunity for them.
Face-off coming glove side of Nikolai Wallery. Wells up top. He goes across the blue line. Back to Wells. Fires a shot. Floats it just a bit over the top of the cage. Now Lusk with it down low. Montana State doing a great job of holding that shape in the zone. Not chasing the pucks out to the boards too much. Lusk had that for a moment. Now back on safety defense is Hood. He's going to look to use some speed to come up the zone. Gains the blue line. Looks to go between the two defenders and is just smacked. One stick heads the other direction.
He definitely got sandwiched on that one by the D-men.
Hood taking a shot, bouncing right out front. Eastern looking for one of those scrappy goals. We'll have a delayed call here. Looks like it might be against the Eagles.
It is getting a little chippier as the game progresses. I've noticed that there's a lot of talk going on, and when the players behind, so the intensity's picking up. Now you're right, the Eagles got caught on it. I don't know what he called.
We'll see who it is that. Looks it's actually going to be a Bobcat. So now Eastern really has a chance here. 1:09 on the 5-on-3. 16:28 left. This is a prime time to score this and get back into this game if you're an Eagle.
This is huge.
But a big momentum swing opportunity here if the Bobcats are able to hold. And the way that they were holding that shape with the 5-on-4, it's going to be tough to get anything close.
Well, they were running almost like a 2-1-1 zone, to be honest with you. The Bobcats were, and that's what it made it effective.
Bouncing puck out front, back up top now to Roach. Roach is going to go to the far side. Another shot taken. Blocked straight down. And now, with some speed heading the other way, are the Bobcats. Making one-man miss, stick lifted, stopped by Sam Brash. What a move down the ice, though, by Solani.
Solani was unbelievable on that one because Roach had him all lined up. He wasn't going anywhere, and all of a sudden he did a quick dipsy-do. He actually put the puck between Brash's stick and his body, and he got it back. That was an incredible move.
Still 40 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Montana State feeling very confident as they're sending Pereira up top to really be kind of a forecheck there. Now Hood, he's going to go down low. Hood not able to grab it. He's got to get on his horse. Calm pass back to the near side. 20 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Flood leaves it off for Lusk. Lusk having to battle. 15 seconds left on the 5-on-3 power play for the Eagles. Montana State doing a great job of killing off these precious seconds. Coming away with it is Thompson. He tried to muscle his way through the zone. Couldn't get to it.
Thompson's going to go in the box.
And Lusk was...
We're having all kinds of problems now.
Lusk wanted to have a conversation with the Bobcats captain, Feltz. And...
Well, Thompson's going to get a slash. He double-handed, and I don't know if he looked upset with the Bobcat player. I don't know if he got hit, but Eastern's going to have two people in the box right now. And our only defense on missing that penalty for you is the box was open for Eastern side, and nothing happened until the very end of it. So that's our only excuse, Tyler, right there.
So 2:23 left to play here in this opening period. Looks like we'll have about 51 seconds of 4-on-4 time. And then about 1:09 left for the Bobcats on the power play.
Because Wells was going in the box along with Thompson, and then he came out. So I'm not really sure why the linesman was directing him to the box.
It sounds like they're going to get... Okay, I thought they were going to send Lusk to the box after that. Felt like they were fairly equal.
Well, there's no question intensity has picked up here on a Friday night here at Eastern. Boy, there's a heck of a crowd here too. I don't want to miss that. This is unbelievable.
This is a great crowd.
The Roost
for a Friday
is open
night.
now.
Yeah, if you haven't heard, the Roost is open, 21 and over. Plus, there's a concession stand here, all ages. It is youth hockey night here at the URC. Bobcats cycling the puck. Trying to give chase is Cole Best. Cole on the far side. He's going to circle behind his own net. He's got Hood kind of floating down the ice. And Cole taking another big hit in the center of the zone on his own side of the ice this time. Lane going to bring it down, tries to feed it out front. Nobody there. Still 20 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Davis takes it from up top, looking for the tip out front. Now back to Trepesky. He's going to fire that, looking for the far post. Can't get a hold of it. Battle for the puck down low between Hood and Lane. Bobcats are going to come away with it. Cole
Nice
throws
job
his
by-
body at that, and now there's going to be some conversations here as Brash is now in his own net. You want to see what all the talk was about before. Him and Lane came together there. Looks like Isaac Hood might have had something to do with that.
I give credit to Cole Best on that one. He did an outstanding job of actually looking at how they were setting up, and right before they took the shot, he dove right in front of the puck. That was an outstanding job by Cole.
Minute and a half left, 107 of that going to be on the power play for the Bobcats as they'll look to add a tally before the end of this first period. As a reminder, tomorrow night, senior night here at the URC, a very special night for the Eagles. And we hope to see all of you guys here. If you can't make it, we will be on the air starting at about 6:20 tomorrow night. But like we said, the Roost, it's 21 and over. You know what that means. There's a concession stand out there, all ages. They got popcorn. They got loaded nachos. I don't know what that is, but I might have to go find out during the intermission. So 120 left, face-off coming far side of the ice. Glove side of the Eastern Washington netminder, Sam Brash.
You know, one thing that's really working well for the Bobcats, they are forward-checking with vengeance, and that's how they're generating a lot of offense.
Their defense is doing a very good job at the blue line. And it looks like the Bobcats going to pick one up here late in this period. But I was going to say they're doing a very good job at the blue line reading these escape passes from Eastern Washington and getting in front of them 3, 4, 5 feet ahead of the blue line. So it looks like this time it's going to be Steven Eric going to take a seat.
Well, see, what Eastern can do to counteract that, they can go out wide. They can go north-south on the outside of the dots and try to free up rather than Montana State Bobcats putting pressure inside the dots. Go to the outside, and that'll free it up a little bit more and open up some passing lanes, especially in the neutral zone.
Now 4-on-4 for the next minute, or rather for the next 35 seconds. As it came across just a bit early here. So
I don't know about you, Tyler, but this game just has this air like it's going to get really, really physical sometime in here. It just has a feel in this building right now.
And this is game one of the weekend.
Good to see some of the alum out here, too. I saw Mitch Hunt earlier talk to him.
It was good to see Mitch Hunt out here. There's a couple of other players that have been floating around a little bit. Haven't had a chance to say hi to everybody yet. Montana State with the speed into the zone. Quick stop. Shot taken off. Bounces off to the far side. McAvoy there to pick it up for the Bobcats. And now here comes Flood. He's got 2 men in front of him, one trailing, no help with him. So he tries to put it out front, but nobody there but white uniforms. 4 seconds left on the 4-on-4. As out of the box comes Sam Thompson. Eastern trying to use him here and just couldn't get the puck to him. Touched up, 15 seconds left in the period. Roach maybe thinking about one more trip down the ice. And again, that forecheck pressure by Montana State foiling any plans that Eastern had. They're just going to try and get into the intermission here. So starting P2, Eastern Washington going to start 57 seconds on the power play, looking for 2 goals as they trail after the first 20 minutes. Thanks to goals by Reese Phelps and Luke Jurgensen for the Montana State Bobcats. We'll be back in 20 minutes. You're watching Eastern Washington University Men's Hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for the second period of action between the hometown Eagles and the visiting Montana State University Bobcats. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined in the desert of the URC by Gary Allen, as always. And Gary, other than the sweat dripping into your eyes here tonight, what do you expect to hear for the second period?
Well, I'm just a little disappointed. You're not giving me no credit on my techno skills right there.
You did.
I missed everything up, but that's okay. This has been an outstanding hockey game, even though Eastern's down by 2. It is an entertaining game. But I think Eastern's, if they can really get a handle, get their D-men and lead the rush, and definitely try to space it out more, go to the outside, north-south on the dot, open up the Bobcats a little more, but the Bobcats are putting a lot of heat on. That's through their forechecks. And the other thing Montana State is doing an outstanding job is their angles. If you look at how they're doing it, when they're attacking forecheck, there's a purpose for what they're doing. They're coming off of angles, which leads to that zigzag we were talking about earlier. And they're an outstanding hockey club. They really are. They're well tuned.
Well, and this game started to get a little bit chippy in the final 3-4 minutes of that first period, and that's why Montana State's going to start with Steven Eric in the box. So they'll have to kill off 57 minutes of power play time.
The intensity definitely picked up in the last 3-4 minutes of that. I mean, there was some unhappy players, let's say it that way. But I like how the crowd got into it. Everything Eastern
crowd was
done, man, they were all over it.
Well, if you've ever come out to the URC and you're like, dang, it's a really cold arena, that's not the case this weekend. So if you were going to watch online for senior night because you didn't want to come and bust out the winter coat, don't worry about it. Tank tops, maybe. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the fundraiser this year. Maybe next year we get tank tops. Here's an opportunity for the Eagles. Shot taken by Hood atop the far face-off dot. Pushed out to the top of the zone here.
I'll be bringing my shorts tomorrow. Put them in the car. Maybe when I come in here, I'll put them on.
Puck off the glass up into the neutral zone. The Eagles still with that man advantage. It's going to get pushed ahead to Flood. Flood looking to go to the goal mouth. Forehand from the far side and just couldn't corral it fast enough. So Nikolai Wallery was able to get across, and Lusk slow back to the bench holding a hamstring.
I give Wallery all the credit in the world. Now, when Flood did an outstanding job of delaying it, and he toe dragged it, and Wallery just stood his ground and just went with a nice play by him.
Well, we've been making fun of the heat here in the building for the last period and a half, but if you look at the ice out there, Gary, it's still pretty wet. Almost a minute and a half into this period, 5 minutes since the Zamboni left. I think that's going to play into Eastern Washington's favor here. Montana State's been so fast up and down the ice, and the puck's just not moving. If you watched the Winter Classic in Seattle, you kind of saw the same thing, where the puck was just almost like Velcro onto the ice.
There's a drag to it right now.
So that's going to limit what Montana State's able to do as far as the quick hands, but it's not going to prevent them from doing stuff like that as Reese Phelps just walks his way through the Eastern Washington defense.
But again, it's that zigzag style that he did on that one. He left both Eastern players just standing there watching them. And again, they're all angles. Outstanding job by the Bobcats.
Shot taken from the top of the zone, bounces off the wall, back out front. Kind of a chop at it that time by Cherpesky. Montana State back to full strength. Another shot from the top of the zone, bouncing puck just wide. Brash now looking to get back centered in his goal. Backhand pass out front, and again, we see that sticky puck. And not going to be a problem for Montana State, finally able to get that out. But you saw how hard it was for Eastern Washington to clear that puck out of the slot. And eventually, if you can't get the puck out of there, player in the white jersey is going to find that the puck and put it in the back of the net.
Well, right now it just seems like Eastern, they're just not quite sure what they want to do with it. And they're holding on to the puck a little too much. The Bobcats are coming in intercepting it, so you got to give them credit. But Brash did an outstanding job. There's nothing you could fault him on that goal. It was just a point blank shot on that one. But Eastern has got to settle in and really kind of put some more pressure on the Bobcats to see how they can handle it.
So back across in the first period, both goals came in quick succession. Bobcats going to look to do that again here. Goals in that first period coming just a minute 19 apart.
And this may sound really strange, but it looks like the Bobcats, for the first 5 minutes of each period, want to put on a major attack. And they wear down the team and they can get some goals off it. That's really nice. But this period mimics what they did in the first period when they first came out.
Big stretch pass. Carew going to have to chase it for the icing, and he does. So Action will head back down towards Nikolai Woolery.
And that's where Eastern in that first period, the first 7-8 minutes, they were outstanding. They weren't falling for any of the bait that the Bobcats were doing with them. They stayed in their position. They knew where they wanted to go. And then they kind of slid away and started to chase the Bobcats a little bit more. And that's what I'm seeing right now at the start of this period. They're running around a little bit. They need to figure out how they want to attack the Bobcats and start trying to open them up in the middle.
That goal officially 2:16 of the second period from Zach Lane. Assists to Hayden Clem and Dylan Miller. That's Miller's second assist on the night. So again, 2:16 of the second period, Lane from Clem and Miller, putting the Bobcats up 3-0 here in the long change second frame at the URC in Cheney. Puck pushed ahead. Eagles able to get it into the neutral zone. But a quick shot from neutral ice with a rocket there by Eric. Now big high dump. It's going to send the Bobcats back into their own zone, but with the puck now heading back the other way. A 2-on-1 opportunity. 3-on-1 now, and that one Eastern Washington player, Trenton Wells, the captain, able to clear that out. I'm not sure what the net was dislodged during that sequence, so no changing for the Eagles. 15:59 left in this second period. You mentioned it that first frame, Gary, that Eastern Washington just getting shot. Holy cow. Outshot by the Bobcats in that first frame. And you can win games in transition sometimes, but I think you're going to have more than 5 shots a period.
Yeah.
Now an opportunity here for the Bobcats again, looking to set up in their zone. With the puck is McAvoy. He's going to send it down low. Ellingson looking to bring it behind the Eagles net. Out to the faceoff dot on the near side. Shot taken up by Mundell. And his rebound's going to head all the way back down the ice. Puck sent up through the neutral zone onto the far side. Felt has it. Takes it behind the Eastern Washington net where there's a couple of Eagles waiting for him. Now Feld has to battle on the far side. He's going to get it off to Cole. Best now feeds it ahead. This ahead to Hood. He's going to bring it across the blue line. And that's going to be a trip on the Bobcats. So Eastern Washington, another chance to get on the board here with the extra skater. They just have to stay out of the box themselves. That one officially a trip on Owen Davis at 4:58 of the second period. The Eagles head back to the power play. Face off won by the Bobcats. A big slap from the far side by Miller. It's held in by Roach on the far side before it's finally sent out. Best with it on the far side. He bangs it off of the wall. Now near side to Tierney. That's going to send another Bobcat to the box. Cole a little slow here to bring it up the ice. And the Bobcats willing to just let that sit as they were trying to kill off as much of that power play as possible before the 5-on-3. But now a second 5-on-3 chance for the Eagles. This coming 5:24 of this period. It's a rough assessed to Jake Parent, his second of the game.
I don't think we really have to mention too much. This is a golden opportunity for Eastern to get themselves right back into this thing, because there's plenty of time in between the penalties that they can get a quick one in that first penalty. Then they got that second one they can still work at, and they can crawl back into this pretty well.
Puck dropped straight on the dot, held there for a moment by both players. Hood gets it out to the center of the zone. Now shot from the top of the zone by Lusk. And he finds the back of the net. Joel Lusk.
What was nice about that play by Lusk on that one, that puck did not get off the ice at all. He just did a straight, it glided against the ice. And I think the netminder, we thought he was going to go up high on it, but he was wide open, and that's a great advantage. We just talked about it. They still have a minute 50 left of a power play advantage. They can get another one in this one. Whole new ball game, but nice job by Joel Lusk on that one. Excellent shot.
Well, he played with that puck at the top of the zone, right on top of that Pack 8 logo for a good 4 or 5 seconds.
It almost looked like he was doing a shot pass, to be honest with you. It just glided on the ice.
It only took 10 seconds on the power play. I'm not sure what they stopped the play here for.
I don't either.
But they're going to bring it out into the neutral zone. Again, youth hockey night here at the URC. Great to see a lot of the youth hockey jerseys from around the area. Now coming the other direction are the Bobcats. And what a breakaway, and absolutely running the goalie. This is going to end poorly.
Yeah.
But Solonic, I believe, is who that was, and he absolutely ran Sam Brash. No question about it. That was a designed move by him.
And the Eagles definitely took exception to it because they had 3 guys on top of him, and they're still having trouble getting the Eagles off of him.
And there's a lot of Eagles fans out there that aren't going to like this, but that was a hockey play. He knew going into that he was going to end up in the box, and he took his shot because he could.
Yep. But it was a great response by Eastern on how they handled that. There was no doubt what they were definitely going to let him know this is not going to happen.
Brash waving to the crowd, letting them know that he's okay. Eastern not going to get a power play off of this, as Smith going to get to the box.
Well, I think Smith was the first one to go in and tackle him, and I'll be frank, I don't agree with it. I'm sorry.
Unless they're going to give it's an interesting call. I'll give them that. They definitely need to send one player to the box for Eastern Washington, no doubt. They must be giving third man into Hood, potentially.
Yeah. The reason why I'm having a problem with it is anybody that's played this game, refereed this game, that if you run a goalie, you know the response is going to happen. Generally, they'll let that go. Now, I don't know if it's because Eastern would let them up. They kept on pile driving the player.
They did. The officials were definitely trying to pull the players off there.
Yeah, but that's the only thing, because it's an automatic, and as much as that Bobcat player ran the netminder, you knew there was going to be a mess.
Absolutely.
And
that's one of those things that, like I said, it's just a hockey play.
Yeah.
It's something that's going to happen.
Yep.
Montana State's trying to make a point here, but you've got to know that there's going to be a response there.
And that's why most of the time referees will let that go. They know it. They anticipate there's going to be a mass problem.
Or at a minimum, you give a guy a matching.
Yeah.
But I know one of the emphasis this year was on the third man in.
It will be interesting to see if they're going to give the initial player 5 for the run, because, that was blatant. Like what you said, what he did. He definitely went in with ill intent. And Brash is kind of feisty too, so I wouldn't be surprised if he got some licks in there too when he was he's a feisty netminder.
There's a lot of time spent inside of Brash's net tonight.
Yeah.
The officials trying to figure this one out. I don't see anything on the board yet.
Nothing.
But a third player now for Montana State, so maybe a double minor there.
This one, the coaching staff from Eastern is not going to be unhappy. Well, they're probably unhappy with how many guys they got in the box, but how Eastern retaliated on that, because any coach would no. If they hit your goalie, you go for it. Don't even think about it.
Well, it's great, and this sounds terrible, but it's great to see Sean Smith in the box for this particular.
Yeah.
His first game back, he's right back in the mix of it, mixing it up with his teammates, sticking up for his goalie.
Yeah, it looks like he never skipped a beat on it. He was physical last year. He was a feisty hockey player last year, and so
it looks like looking back at that last Eastern Washington goal, they're going to give that to Peyton Lund. Lund's, it must have been Lund's first goal in a Eastern Washington uniform here, his first game.
Because that's what it looked like to me, was a shot pass off of it. It stayed on the ice. I mean, Lusk definitely knew what he was doing. He had his head up when he went and shot it, and I was wondering if there wasn't a tip in there someplace.
So it looks like a couple of coincidental minors. So crowded box for Montana State, but only one penalty on the board. So 1.5 minutes left of power play time.
Well, the game's continually being physical. How's that?
There you go. The East, looking back at that last Eastern Washington goal, officially from Lund at 5:35. The assist going to Lusk. And a big hit near side here with the secondary assist going to Thompson. So officially 5:35, Lund from Lusk and Thompson. I feel like we're going to say that a lot. It's not a fun thing to say, Lund from Lusk.
Well, no, but I've been impressed with Lund. I mean, he gets the goal, and now he's out
Absolutely.
there throwing the body. I mean, he just blew up one of the Bobcats right there. That's good to see.
Montana State now looking to find this guy on the back door at the blue line. They're bringing it up the far side wall or the near side wall in those high dumps. And what a shot.
That was a rocket.
Can't leave the guys open in those areas, and Eastern Washington's learning that.
Well, what the Bobcat player did, outstanding. He took the puck all the way behind the net, and he was looking for a pass, but he basically used the D-man as a screen and just turned around real quick and did a nice wrist shot. Nothing Brash had on that one. There was no way he was going to stop that shot. It was a rocket.
So that goal officially 6:39 of the second period from Hayden Clem. I believe that's his second point tonight. Had an assist in the first period.
But Montana State, they're constantly looking for offensive attacks. I mean, I've been extremely impressed with this hockey team. Obviously, number one in the West. You knew they were going to be good, but I mean, just watching them in person, I mean, I remember last year they were outstanding. And just how they attack. Their forecheck sets up their offensive attack. They're an outstanding hockey club. I was trying to look at their record on the stat sheet. I couldn't find it. But, man, they're a strong team. But Eastern's giving them everything they want right now. They're playing them heads up on that. If Eastern can get a break here or there, they're in the game. There's no question. I really like what Eastern, how they picked up the intensity this second period.
So just able to pull up the standings here through the beginning of December. So I don't know if Montana State's played since then, but they were 22-2 heading into the winter break. One of those losses coming at the hands of Grand Canyon University at a showcase. Brash accidentally knocks the net off there as he's looking to go around the corner. That shot taken off into Montana State side of the ice as the officials fix the net here.
But again, we mentioned in the first period, this is an extremely entertaining hockey game. Both teams are playing to their capabilities. It's been fun to watch.
Puck sent around, near side now to Belair. He's going to try and chip it up the wall. Can't get it past the blue line. Now a shot from the near side into the midsection of Sam Brash.
I'm waiting for Belair to get that penalty call, how he's been doing such a great job. Use his size to his advantage. Because he has that down as an art form.
What a goal taken right off the top of the faceoff by Keaton Harrison. He took 2 steps to his left, saw a hole through traffic, and put it right into that far side netting.
Well, what the Bobcats did a nice job of doing, they screened Brash. They basically flooded 3 guys in front of him, and that's where that hole opened up for him. But again, it's their attacking style. They just don't slow down. If you watch them at all, there's not a lot of stick handling. They're looking to pass the puck right away, and they're attacking right after they get past that red line. That was a great goal by the Bobcats.
And the one thing that I've noticed most about the Bobcats is their goals aren't aren't flukes.
No,
They're all well planned out. They're scoring when they think they're going to score. They're not these kind of fluky goals, except for maybe that first one.
Yeah, that was
Sam probably wanted back, but they're cycling the puck, like you said. They're getting open in space, and they're honestly walking right around the Eastern defense at the moment.
Well, they're constantly in motion, and they're getting Eastern to chase them, and that's opened up some lines, like right there.
There's nobody there for Eastern Washington. Brash having to do it all by himself.
Yeah, because
Things are starting to come unglued here in Cheney.
Well, if you saw right there, again, the Bobcats got Eastern to chase them down in their zone, opened up totally the middle of it, and just turned around and took a quick shot. And that's where Eastern has got to change and make an adjustment. They've got to stop chasing the Bobcats, because the way they're playing, they don't hold on to the puck. It's just rapid. Now we're going to have a goalie change. And that's no reflection on Brash. Brash has played an outstanding hockey game, period. The Bobcats are just making Eastern chase them. And that's what's happening right now.
Well, sometimes you just got to get somebody new in there so they're moving a little bit differently. In there now, Scott Kennedy, transfer for Eastern Washington, 6'3", 175-pound right-hander from Parker, Colorado.
Yeah, and I think what the coaches did on this one, they pulled Brash, and that wasn't a reflection on how they played, but you hit it on the head. Maybe a little change of pace. Maybe now Montana's going to have to figure out how they want to shoot against this guy. We'll buy him some time. Maybe Eastern start attacking him on the offensive end.
Face-off coming now to Kennedy's stick side. Puck down, tied up on the circle. Bobcats come away with it, and a big save by Kennedy right away. As the Bobcats were looking to walk right in there, and Kennedy saw it, smothered that puck. Ended up kicking the net off, which is a bit of a transition for goalies into this building if they're coming from somewhere that has full pegs into the ice. You can push off a little bit different than you can with the pegs that are here. A little bit of a learning curve.
But the word I get on Kennedy, he's got great lateral movement. And so that helps quite a bit. He's a bigger goalie.
Yeah, it helps when you're 6'3". That butterfly takes up most of that goal line.
But it was good to see him come and join the Eagles this year.
Eastern with 4 netminders on the roster right now. Of course, Brendan Carew, a senior. We'll see him tomorrow night. Likely get the start. Now a chance for Thompson. He's going to bring it in. Takes a shot looking for that top left corner, and it floats away from him. Tierney with it. He's going to send it back in. Thompson resets. Puck back behind the net.
Ooh, I thought that was close.
Every time Eastern looks like they're starting to get a little bit of momentum, there's a stoppage for one reason or another, and it seems to kill that momentum. If they can just hold this through the whistles, they might be able to actually make something happen.
Well, it'll help them with their rhythm if they can keep it going. And right now, the whistle's stopping that. But I'll give Eastern credit. They're still out there banging. They're still going at it.
Still lots of hockey left. We've seen crazy things happen in this building. Thinking back to the Pac-8 championship tournament last year. This one dumped in. Eastern, first one to the puck. Up top to Roach. He's going to try and fire that on net. Now he's going to head the other direction. Roach battling 2 Bobcats. He's going to get it away from them and now pushed ahead. Hofacker knocked off of the puck in neutral ice. Bring it up near side was Parent. Now battle for the puck down in the corner. Eastern looking to bring it out the other direction. It's touched up at neutral ice. So no icing as Davis going to take it back around his own net, then leave it for his own man on the near side. Up the wall now goes Mundell. He's put into the boards, knocked off of the puck, and Carew is going to pick it up. Eastern looking to build out of their own end. Puck goes to the far side. Off of the glass, pushed up ahead, waiting for it. At his own blue line was Lund. He has the one goal for Eastern so far tonight, a tip-in goal. Kennedy out behind his net. He's just going to let that one go. Now the Eagles doing a good job of clearing the puck away from the front of the goal. Kennedy diving, snatches that one out of the air as he goes on the attack with 9:15 left in this second period. Just past the halfway point in the first game of the weekend. Tomorrow night, senior night here at the URC. And yes, the Roos will be open tomorrow night as well as the concession stand. Get out here, help honor these seniors tomorrow night at the URC. You can find tickets at EWUEaglesHockey.com or online or at the door. Both places just $10.
One thing you've noticed what the Bobcats are trying to do this period, they're trying to get that top of the slot opened up so they get that one-timer. They've done a really nice job of doing that. They've had about 4 shots in a row by setting that up.
Now here comes Hood. If he can get to it just an inch away as he had Lusk crashing towards the center. They're going to call that a trip, but his stick was about waist level. Oh, they're going to call that a hook. Okay. That's slightly better.
I'll go with slightly better. But that's what we talked about in the first period. Eastern's got to stay out of the box against this squad because they are so lethal.
Coming 11-17 of this period. Mac Tierney, 2 minutes for a hook, and Eastern going to have to keep Montana State out of the back of the net here for the next 2 minutes. A big battle going on up front. And Roach loses his stick, but now he's battling right out front. And we'll see. We're going to get a high stick here. So just like that, the Eastern power play or penalty kill expires, and heading into the box. Looks like that's Brownell going to take a 2-minute timeout for a high stick. So 4-on-4 hockey for the next 1:45, and then Eastern an expedited 15-second power play at the end of that. Kept into the zone by Roach just for a moment. Now here it comes the other direction. Clem with it. He takes a shot, and Kennedy holds on to it.
It's rare when you see a hockey squad shoot the puck so far out. But they've been doing that, like you mentioned in that one time, the guy took a shot right in the neutral zone. But they're shooting about the dot out, and they're all doing it. So I think it's part of the repertoire.
Which, interestingly, they've got 6 goals, and only one of them has come any higher than the slot.
Yeah.
You see that lateral movement by Scott Kennedy there, able to keep that out of the back of the net. Now some pushing and shoving again in front of the net. Ryan Carew protecting the top of the blue paint. He's going to send that all the way down the ice, but looking for a stop here, and it's just going to float all the way past. So 1:03 left on the 4-on-4. Eastern still searching for their 9th and 10 shots of the game. Almost 33 minutes into this. Another face-off coming in the shadow of the catwalk here at the URC. Montana State very aggressive on the face-off from the wing. Bouncing puck out into the neutral zone. They'll have to reset. And the player serving the penalty is actually McAvoy, not Brownell. Bouncing puck out into the zone. Back up top to the slot. Shot taken wide of the mark. Phelps is not able to get enough of that when he put that shot on net. It's going to go back up top to Phelps. He scored the first goal tonight from distance. His own player there throwing the body out there. And again, it's Solonic, if you can believe it, in the goalie's crease, we'll say.
They do like to stir things up in that crease, don't they?
Well, Solonic knows his role out there. And Wells going to take a 2-minute seat, so now a 4-on-3. "12 minutes, 54 seconds into the second period. So we'll have a 4-on-3 for 23 seconds. Then we'll go back to 4-on-4 for about 16 seconds. And then about 1:20 of power play time for the Bobcats.
Even though Eastern's taking penalties, you got to like what they're doing. They're standing up for their netminder. Like on that one there, Kennedy got ran into, and Eastern just wasn't going to put up with it. So, yeah, they're in the box, but you like to see what they're doing. They're not letting that go. Eastern's attacking the players that are hitting their netminder.
Shot taken into the legs of Eriks, and he's going to try and send that down the ice. Gets it out of the zone. And now the Bobcats going to have to give chase and reset in their own end. Harrison picks it up.
But it's so impressive watching the Bobcats, just how everything's in solid motion. They don't slow down. There's a rhythm to them. They're real fluid out there on the ice.
And back to full strength are the Bobcats. 5-on-4 for the next 1:20. Through traffic, poked away. Another shot, this time off to the far side. Hood tries to get that into the neutral zone, able to get it that far before Harrison takes it and turns it back the other direction. Eastern very cautious on that power play, having the long, or on the penalty kill, having the long change in this second period. Deep pass, and that'll be an icing. So a reset in the Montana State end. Gonna wake up Nikolai Wallery. It's been a minute since he's had any action in front of him.
Well, if Eastern can develop a rhythm to their offensive attack, they're staying in this game. They're actually doing really well with it. They just haven't come up with an offensive attack that can break down the Bobcats right now.
Bobcats looking to set up behind their own net. Floating up the near side wall is Slater. Bobcats really just content to kill out the clock as much as they can. Get the right skaters on the ice. And a big hit in neutral ice by Stevenson, but the puck still heading the opposite direction. This time, Stevenson throws the bottom half of his stick down the ice. The third defensive stand in a row here that Eastern Washington's had to play defense without a stick, or at least one player. 10 seconds left on the power play.
Yeah,
and they're going to go back on the penalty kill. And what a snag by Scott Kennedy. Point blank to keep it at 6-1. 3 seconds left on the minor penalty to Trent Wells, but he's going to get a friend. Let's see who it is. I believe it's going to be Eric's, Tierney.
But if you look at that last play by Montana State, when they were in their net and they changed on the fly, their defenseman kept the puck behind the net, and they shot their forwards down to get the line changed. Then he brought it up. That's outstanding coaching on that one. They knew what they were going to do. They did it perfectly, and they got a break on it.
Montana State with it again. Thinks about what to do with it behind the goal. Now it goes back up top to the top of the zone. Here's Phelps, the captain, with it again. He's going to go off to the far side now. Back up top to the captain to set it up. Thinks about the shot. Decides better of it. Banging it off of an Eastern player from the near side. Now over to the far side. Trying from the left. No dice.
That was Roach that blocked that shot. Nice job by him. Heads up.
Miscommunication between the Bobcats. Now it's going to go near side to Lane. He can't get it towards the net. Now from down low, he's going to take a couple of steps, looking to go around the outside. And now he sets it up. 1:11 left on the power play. Phelps going to feed it down low. Now all the way across. Unable to get there was Eric. And get to the far side. Looking to go up top to Phelps. Phelps with it for the Bobcats. Now over to the far side. Couple of steps out into the center. Backhand shot. Sticked away by Kennedy. The Eagles not able to clear this out of their zone again. Soft backhands out to the blue line. With the puck now back down low are the Bobcats. Holding on to it is Clem. It's going to go up top to Phelps, and he's going to fire that off the window behind the cage. Now onto the far side to Steven Eric. He's going to put that into traffic, and it's going to pop out over to the near side with Parent. He chases it down into the corner. Now back up to the top of the zone. Phelps thinks about it. Gets the shot off. Bounces around out front and cleared by the Eagles all the way down the ice to Wallery. Bobcats going to have one more chance. Now they've got it on the breakout here. Wells with a big stop there, the captain for Eastern Washington.
That was huge, or that would have been a point-blank shot for the Bobcats.
Out of the box comes Tierney back to full strength. Eastern able to kill off that 5-on-3. Lusk with some new energy out there. Now over to the far side for the Bobcats. Shot taken. Player falls down out in front. Loose puck, and now we have a stoppage. I'm not sure. They're going to call it an interference on Eastern Washington. So with 2:51, that Eagle penalty box door getting another workout. The Wells shrugs his shoulders as the bench asks him what he did. He's not really sure, but he's going to go take a 2-minute timeout for it.
But just watch the Bobcats, how they motion everything, they cycle. That puck doesn't stay on their stick more than maybe a second, and they're always looking. And again, it goes back to how they're crisscrossing in the middle for a point-blank shot.
Loose puck out in front. Players on top of the netminder again. And outskates Scott Kennedy. 1:52 left on the power play. No penalties coming, but they are going to bring the action out into neutral ice. And I was wrong. Eastern Washington. Oh, they're going to say that puck went in the back of the net. They're going to say that somehow in that scrum there was a goal.
Whoa.
And I'm not sure how you could score a goal with a player sitting on top of your goalie, but
I don't either.
So we'll get the official goal call there. Sorry for not realizing there was actually a goal that had happened. I didn't see an official point anywhere.
No one pointed. I didn't even see it go in the back of the net. And you're right. How are they going to get him the goal when he's on top of your netminder?
That'll be an icing reset back out into neutral ice. So that the first goal scored on Scott Kennedy, not one that he's going to want to remember for very long.
No. Well, you didn't see it because somebody was on top of him. So I was like, I don't know what to tell him.
Puck back on the stick of a Bobcat. It's going to come up the near wall. And that'll be a penalty against the Bobcats as Stevenson was taken down in neutral ice. And it looks like it's going to be Slater going to take a 2-minute timeout for that one. An interference at 17:36. These two teams trading penalties back and forth tonight.
Yeah, but the luxury is Bobcats could do that now because they're up by 6. Eastern's got to make sure they can cut that down.
Back to Hood, up to the top of the zone. Back to Hood. Hood can't get it off fast enough. Has to battle along the wall. And that gets it over to Thompson, back behind the net. Thompson now. Pushed down along the wall. Ends up on top of the puck. Not covering it. So it's still live. Now it's pushed away. And a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Bobcats. Bringing it up the far side now is Ellingson. He's got a man in the middle around the defender, looking to tuck it in that near post. Kennedy says no. And Lusk takes a tumble. Lusk definitely dealing with a lower body injury out there tonight. Doesn't have that explosiveness that we're used to. And now A walk-in attempt looking for a kind of a spin-around shot was Ellingson. Instead, he's not going to get one at all. Now Lusk with it, plays it back to Flood. Flood chops it ahead. Now he's going to have to give chase. He's going to beat out McAvoy. He's got to immediately beat out another Bobcat. This time it's Lane. Puck still down in the corner. Sent up near side to Tierney. Tierney thinks about it. Holds onto it. Fires a shot into traffic. Bounces off of two different Eagles players. And now near side is Mundell. He's going to fire that in, and Kennedy is going to hold on to it with 1:02 left in the period. 39 seconds left on the power play for the Eagles.
Well, we've been talking about it, Tyler. Eastern's offense just seems out of rhythm, but you got to give the Bobcats a lot of credit on that one. With their forechecking, it's just causing them all kinds of havoc to try to set up and even come out of their zone.
And there is a reason that this is the number one team in the West in the Montana State Bobcats. Bringing it over across the line. This time it was Lund. Oh, what a shot from the far side. An absolute snipe by the Bobcats. I believe that was Trepesky again.
Yeah.
Or is that, looks like that's Dylan Miller. 2 assists and a goal for him tonight.
Well, Kennedy looked like he was starting to go into a butterfly, and he just picked the top shelf, just buried the puck in the net.
That another shorthanded goal, 2 for the Bobcats tonight. $18 seconds left on the power play. Belair now trying to make something happen. We talk about those long shots. It doesn't get much longer than that one.
I swear that
On net from 185 feet.
Bobcats just look to shoot wherever they're at on the ice.
Yeah, what's every youth coach say? Put it on the net. And that's what they're doing. It seems to be working out. It's keeping the goalies on their toes tonight.
Well, what it's helping too is it keeps Eastern off balance.
10 seconds remain in this second period. And I didn't want to bring it up before this period, but Eastern Washington struggling in the second period in this building is almost become commonplace. I'm not sure what it is. When they're on the road, second period is fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if the bench doors are further apart in this building for some reason, but the second period has not been their friend, and we saw it again tonight. 5 goals by the Bobcats so far in this one. Looking back at the scoring here for this period. Goals scored by Zach Lane for the Bobcats, and then Peyton Lund, his first in an Eastern Washington uniform, the first for Eastern Washington tonight. And then it's been all Bobcats since then. Hayden Clem, Jackson Mundell, Duke Cherpetsky, and Lucas Solinik, all able to find the back of the net in that second period. The Eagles have their work cut out for them in the final 20 minutes. 8-1, Montana State Bobcats lead. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for this ACHA matchup between the Eagles and the number 1 in the West, Montana State Bobcats. And they are showing that tonight as they have an 8-1 lead over the Eagles after 2 periods of play. This game started off 2-0 after the first period. Ended up 3-0. Eastern was able to get one back, and then since then, it's been all Montana State. We were talking a bit during the break. My name is Tyler Pisani, joined by Gary Allen. And Gary, what are you seeing from this Montana State team that's making them so frustrating for the Eagles?
Well, they're just attacking Eastern. Their forecheck is incredible, and the way they do their motion offense, what they're doing is they want Eastern to make a quick decision, and they seem to be blocking up that passing lane. But also what the Bobcats are doing with that attack, that forechecking, it's creating offense for them because Eastern's coughing up the puck. They're throwing it anywhere they can. And just how the cycle game the Bobcats have, that's what's hurting Eastern right now. They can't get any offense. Defensively, even though that's 8-1, they're playing a good brand of hockey. They just can't generate any offense, and that's because the Bobcats, their attack.
Well, and you can see in the scoreboard camera donated by the Eagle Hockey Booster Club, just the shot differential there. I mean, Montana State, 39 shots. Eastern struggling to hit double digits still.
Well, they definitely have a motion offense. The Bobcats do. There's no question about that. And the only way you can really slow that down is take it out of the outside of the dots, plug up the middle and the neutral zone, and start taking the body a little bit. And try to slow them down a little bit, but they don't keep the puck on their stick more than a second. They're moving it to someone, and they're all lined up. They're playing great positional hockey. They know where they're going to be. That's where the pass is, and they get a lot of shots that way, just like there.
A one-timer opportunity there for 2 different Bobcats. It looked like they might have gotten in their own way.
Well, if you look, the defense actually set that up for the Bobcats. I'm trying to find his number, and he was looking for the forward to go, and he just cut across.
Now shot from distance, slapped straight down, and
we got another netminder.
Yeah, just noticed new pads there in net. So that is Keaton Morrison, 5'7", 755-pound left-hander from Woods Cross, Utah. Interestingly enough, Eastern's next game's down there in Utah. A couple of games against University of Utah Utes. Down the final Pac-8 games of the season for the Eagles. And then they'll also take on our friends down at Utah Valley University.
This season has went quick. Do you realize this is our last broadcast until the Pac-8 tournament?
This is today, tomorrow, 2 weeks off, and then a whole heck of a lot of hockey here at the URC. If you're looking for information on that Pac-8 championship, keep an eye on EWU Eagles Hockey's social media and on the website for more information about that coming here in the next week or so. Be an exciting matchup here. University of Washington, the reigning champions, have looked incredible. They actually play this weekend down in Bend against D1 Oregon in an outdoor game.
Yeah, they split down in Texas last week for the word I got, or 2 weeks ago. But that's a great tournament. If you want to come out and see some great hockey, we've been to, 4 or 5 of them now, and each time that tournament has not disappointed.
They're always excitement, especially if you're an Eagle fan. Last year, that game against the Cal Bears was
phenomenal.
Maybe one of the greatest Eastern hockey games of all time. It really was.
Phenomenal is the only word I can think of.
And it actually looks like we were wrong there. It's not Keaton Morrison. It's Sam Brash back in net for the Eagles. Shot here out front, kicked away, and nobody there in a red jersey to clear it up. Bit of a shooting range out here for Montana State in the opening minutes of this third period.
Well, that was interesting. When you were saying that, I thought, Brash is a butterfly style, and I was watching it, and it's like, dang. Morrison is a butterfly too, huh? So, way to correct that, Tyler.
Shout out to our graphics and data gal, Kayla, for helping me with that one. We need a spotter up here like the big time people.
Well, we need all the help we can get. But again, Brash was pulled in the second, but and nothing against him at all. He's had a very stout game tonight. It's just Montana State University is just relentless on their offense. But I'm still not sure how good they are on defense because they really haven't had to play it, to be honest with you. And that's not a knock on Eastern at all. It's just how Montana State is playing. I don't know if Eastern was ready for this kind of onslaught on the offensive zone. These guys, it doesn't matter where they're at. They're shooting the puck from all over the place. They are just relentless, really, is the only word I can think of.
Well, and they're very streaky when they find the back of the net. Their first 2 goals coming within a minute and 19 seconds of each other. When they scored that one at the beginning of the second period, and then they scored 3 in a minute and a half between 6:39 and 8:11 of that second period. And then at the end, they scored 2 more in the final 2 minutes of the period.
Yeah. They're an impressive offensive team. And their defense could be good, but they're extremely impressive offensively. They got some skill.
Well, this is one of those things for tomorrow night that if you're Eastern and you're looking at, where can we improve? What can we do tomorrow night? I don't know that you're going to keep Montana State out of the back of the net, but if you can keep them from hitting those multiple goals back to back to back and swinging that momentum, then this is a different game at that point.
Well, one thing they can do, and the coaching staff who's done a really outstanding job this year with this squad with so many new players, they're going to have to go to the body a little bit to slow down that cycle game Montana State has. That's one way to do it.
And Eric has his pocket pick there. Shot taken from kind of an odd angle by Miller, who's got 3 points already tonight. Tierney up the wall, bouncing puck to Hood. He's going to try and play it ahead to Hofacker. Hofacker has it taken off of his stick at just the last second in the neutral zone. And now heading the other direction is Belair. He's going to chip it down into the corner and use his speed to try and be the first one there. Battle for the puck on the far side. Now Montana State going to try and bring it up the other side.
Belair is extremely deceptive on how quick he can be. He shoots out pretty well when he gets going.
We talked about that dump and chase a little bit. He was going to do that all by himself. Yeah. He knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted to chip it around the outside of the player and go get the puck, and he was darn close to it.
Well, I think for Eastern too, they could get ready for tomorrow, start a little more in body, and then they could do a little more stretch passes. See if they can really loosen up the Bobcats so they're chasing them rather than the other way around like they've done tonight.
That puck slapped straight down. They're going to call that a high stick on Pereira. So 14:42, action back out into neutral ice.
But I cannot say enough positives about the MSU Bobcats. This is a stout hockey team.
Belair skates away with it for the Eagles. Backhand pass into the neutral zone. And now back to the Bobcats. Touched up pass in the neutral zone. Smack straight down, and that'll be a hand pass. As again, a Bobcat slapped that to the blue line, and a white jersey was the first one there to pick it up.
And I think what the coaching staff will do is they'll take a look at this game tonight and see what wasn't working for them, and then come up with a different offensive attack for tomorrow to see if they can get the Bobcats off balance a little bit.
Flood going to send that down as he comes across the center stripe. Wallery going to slow that up. Now the Bobcats playing pass behind their own net. As the Eagles looking to break that up, and now it's going to skitter all the way the length of the ice. Blazekovic going to have to give chase, and he's able to beat out Pereira.
Well, you got to tip your cap to the Bobcats. They bottled up Eastern, where Eastern really isn't sure what they want to do offensively. They start thinking about doing one thing, and the Bobcats are so relentless on their attack when Eastern has the puck. They're just really slowing down Eastern's offensive progress right now, and they're doing it again in this third period. They're just putting so much pressure on Eastern.
And here come the Bobcats again, bringing it into the zone. Puck slapped away. Now Smith, he's going to feed it ahead to Thompson. He's rubbed off of the puck, but there to pick it up is Flood. Flood makes one-man miss, takes it to the goal mouth, tries to shove it in that near post, and just couldn't get to it. And fans, tomorrow night, senior night, the final home game of the year for the Eagles. Come out and honor all of our seniors, a very special night here at the URC.
Yeah, I think you'll see a whole different Eagle team tomorrow night. The coaching staff, like I said, they've done an outstanding job this year. So they'll come up with a game plan that they're going to try to do. You'll see a different squad.
When we talk about senior night, as the Bobcats looking to add another one there, as some of our players moving on to the next step, we've got some new players that have joined, including Scott Kennedy, who we saw in net, and Peyton Lund, who has the only goal for Eastern Washington so far into this one. But Eastern finally getting their 10th shot on the board with that last rush by Flood. And if I'm the coaching staff tomorrow, I'm telling them to put the puck on the net.
Yep.
Even if you have to play the game that Montana State's playing and take that shot from the neutral zone, put some pressure on the netminder and get Montana State maybe back on their heels a little bit.
Well, and that's what you'll do. Right now, Montana State hasn't had to do that because they're having a lot of pressure. But if you start putting the puck on that net, that really tightens things up.
And now here comes Hood. He's got Stevenson in the center, takes a shot off the mark, bangs off the wall, back behind the goal. Through the neutral zone, it goes Parent. He's going to take it off to the far side. Has it taken off of his stick. The Bobcats still in possession. Eric's trying to fight Bobcat off of the puck on the far side.
Well, it would help Eastern also if they could stand up the Bobcats at the blue line rather than letting them bring the puck so far into the top of the circle. Start really clogging them up at the blue line so they can slow down their attack.
Well, in passes like that, that's just incredible passing there from Montana State, getting it through the entire zone. All 10 players tucked in there, and somehow it found a Bobcat stick on the backside.
Well, that was Dylan Miller that actually shot that, and he was down low, and he's a defenseman. So they're shooting their defenses down too, which can cause confusion. You know, if you're lining up against your man and all of a sudden an extra one's there and that's their defense. They've been doing that a lot tonight too.
Wells thinks about it. A high dump. Smith is going to chop it in. It's going to go back behind the Bobcats net. There to pick it up is the captain, Reese Phelps. They're going to say no icing. So Wells picks it up, 11-11 on the scoreboard. Now ahead to Flood. He's going to bring it across the blue line. He's got Smith in the center, and he's run into the wall. Smith going to finish the check back behind the play. Now out into the neutral zone. With some speed comes Clem. He's spun around. Puck still floating out front. Dangerous. And they're going to blow this play dead.
It's good to see Smitty with his feistiness again. He picked up right when, he was banging on that one Bobcat coming down there right now, and he was chirping at him pretty hard. Smith is a great player. He really is.
So the Eastern Washington penalty box door is open. Conversation in the officials' crease. It looked like skating over there that Zach Lane was having a conversation with the official like he was going to get put in the box, but somebody got the call for elbowing. And they're going to say that it's Eastern Washington. So 10:46 to play. It's going to be Smith going to head to the box for an elbow.
I like his style of play. So, okay, he got an elbow penalty, but the guy is just, you got to keep your head up when he's on the ice.
So now an opportunity for the Bobcats with a 5-on-4 power play. 10:46 left to play in this game.
I'll give the crowd here a credit. They're all staying through this, even though it's an 8-1 score. They're all just packed in here tonight. The roost is packed. It's good to see.
The Bobcats coach having a word with the officials, trying to. Seems like the Bobcats are having some sort of an issue with something. It's every player that's been on the ice has come up and talked to an official. The coaches have come and talked to an official. I don't know if they're looking for maybe head contact on the elbow or if they're asking the officials to pay attention to something specific.
Well, again, they may be talking Barrel House.
That's true. That is where we're headed after the game. Some pizza, some soda, some adult sodas. It's a good time down there. Bobcats with it, looking to cycle the puck. Not really in any hurry here.
They've definitely slowed their game down. They're more methodical right now rather than that free flow.
Clem has it, thinks about it, goes to the faceoff dot on the far side. And the ricochet all the way back down the ice. It's just a testament to how hard this Montana State team can shoot, that all of their errant pucks are banging off the end wall and ending up closer to their netminder than Eastern Washington's.
Yeah, it's definitely an outstanding hockey club. There's no question about that.
Bobcats methodically bringing it through the neutral zone. Clem going to feed it over to the far side. Looking for the trail is Ellingson. That's where he's going to go with it. Bouncing puck through the crease. You see that forecheck pressure again. Just preventing Hofacker from getting that puck out of the zone. He swings at it again. And the Bobcats have the puck on a string right now. Davis going to go near side to Brownell. Shot taken, bounced down, backhander just wide of the net by Jurgensen. And I don't think Brash saw that one. 30 seconds left on the minor penalty to Sean Smith, his first game back.
If you notice what the Bobcats are doing too, they're putting two guys in front of the net, which takes both defensemen for Eastern, and then they slowly skate away, and then it leaves that point-blank shot for their D-man. I picked that up the last couple of times. That's outstanding play.
10 seconds left on the power play. The Bobcats look content to just kill out the power play with the puck in their possession. And now here comes the speed as Smith exits the box. Across the blue line goes Brownell. He's got two men in the middle and can't find either one of them. A wraparound attempt. And what a save by Sam Brash. Actually, that one looks like it's in the back of the net. The officials may be calling this a goal.
Yeah, I think it went in. What the Bobcat player did, I'm trying to see who got it. He went behind the net and he delayed. And Eastern committed, and then he just kind of glided out and did a nice little backhand shot. That was a nice heads-up play by the Bobcat player.
I believe that was Dylan Miller that was able to put that in the back of the net.
But again, if that was Miller, they're pinching him in because he's a defenseman, and he went all the way behind the net. But nice stick handling by him, how he delayed everything.
And if that is so if they do give that to Miller, looks like it'll be his fourth point tonight. Or rather his third point tonight. 2 assists and a goal. Bouncing puck. Skitters down the ice. Bobcats looking to bring it up. Circling back towards their own net. As Cherpesky going to fire that one in. Puck off to the far side now with Parent. He tries to feed it to the middle, but nobody there in a white uniform. Pushing it ahead was Roach, but nobody there for him. So back on the stick of the Bobcats. Cutting through the center of the neutral zone was Mundell. Still on his stick. Makes a couple of men miss. He's going to walk right in and find the top of the net for the 10th goal of the night for the Bobcats. As you just feel the deflation from the Eagles.
Yeah, that one you could see the air go out, but You got to give the Bobcat credit on that one. They're just so smooth of skaters that he just kind of went in and went sideways actually between the two D men, and then all of a sudden he popped it in the top of the net. Brash went down, which you expect him to do. Just an outstanding play by the Bobcats. We keep saying that, but I can't think of any other words.
Again, there's a reason that they are the #1 team in the West. I mean, they're a team that's not going to have to go to regionals this year. They'll get a straight bye to the national championship tournament, and we're seeing why. And Hood laying a check on his captain Wells there, as the Bobcats getting out of the way of that one. Chasing back with it now is Solonic.
No, I think Brash is going to get. Oh, I thought the ref was going to give Brash a penalty because he gave him a shot in the head.
In this, whatever happens here is 100% the fault of the official that was standing there.
Oh yeah,
he watched the Montana player give Hood 2 or 3 shoves in the back, and then Hood finally retaliated, and that's when he broke it up.
Actually, that was Brash that retaliated.
Was that Brash?
Yeah, Brash did
all the red from this far away.
Cross check on that one. It's like, oh no, Brash didn't like that. But Brash has some oomph in him. So, but you're right. That one. I mean, you can't let someone keep hitting your player, and then the referee can't expect them not to retaliate.
Now they're going to send both players to the box here.
Well, at least they did that. So, but yeah, they let it go too long. They would have called it after the second shot.
Well, it was so obvious that I was about to make a comment about it before Hood turned around and let Parent know that he didn't appreciate whatever that was.
Yeah, well, Brash didn't like it. He did a double hand on that one and knocked him right down. He was not pleased when he saw that.
So it looks like they're going to play 4-on-4 here.
Well, now all you hope for is, it doesn't get out of hand and people start taking some cheap shots. Just get ready for tomorrow. Let EWU's coaching staff make the adjustments they need to and come back out and give them a battle tomorrow.
And that's actually Felt in the box with Hood. Hofacker slaps that one ahead. He's got to get onto his horse. That rare speed we see from Jaden there. He almost caught up to that one.
I'll tell you, Tank's had a solid game tonight. We haven't really said his name, but, man, he's been out there hitting. He's been out there doing some nice plays for Eastern.
Now you see it right there again, rubbing his man off the puck. Stevenson tries to feed it ahead. Eric's now going to take it out around his cage. Tries to get it out of the zone, but slapped down immediately at the blue line. Good body movement by Trepesky. And Eastern still just letting Montana State take these free shots. Another stickless Eastern defenseman. And here come the Eagles. Hofacker off the wall. And Tierney looks to be in a little bit of pain. Slow to get back to the bench here. Good to see him back to his feet. 1:05 left on the coincidental minor penalties. Again, tomorrow night, senior night here at the URC, the Roost. Great seats, 21 and over up there. Also a concession stand out here with popcorn, hot dog, nachos, all sorts of stuff for senior night activities tomorrow here at the URC. Get here early. Make sure that you've got a good seat and you're here for all the pregame festivities. Roach with it on the far side, back behind the net now. Wells going to pick it up. He's going to go ahead to Roach. Roach looking to play it off of the wall. A battle for the puck in front of the Eastern Washington bench, won by Flood, but he's only going to get it as far as the MSU defenseman. Shot taken from neutral ice, bouncing awkwardly back out front. Dylan Miller, another one of those long shots. And they're going to say it was icing here. So action coming back down on Sam Brash's side of the ice for the Eagles. 21 seconds left on the power play, or on the coincidental minors. 4-on-4 hockey. 5:09 on the game clock. Montana State out shooting the Eagles 50-12 so far in this one. 2 goals scored in the opening period, 2 goals scored in the concluding period for the Montana State Bobcats so far. It was really that second period that got out of hand for Eastern Washington. So it'll be something that they'll keep an eye on tomorrow as both players exit the box with 4:47 showing.
Another kid that's had a good game for Eastern is Frank Flood. He's done some nice sticking, and his offense has improved each game that's happening, but he's had a solid game tonight.
A lively crowd here at the URC tonight. I mean, there has been some fans that have left, but they're sticking it out. And now Lund has it. He's going to feed it into the center to Hood. And Hood takes a big hip check and is knocked off of the puck. And there's that physicality we expect out of these Bobcats. And now here's Hofacker again. Jaden across the blue line, thinks about the shot, and it is sent sky high off of the stick of the defender. But the fans that have stuck around, Gary, they are into this game.
Yeah, actually, very few have left. If you look, the catwalk's got people up in it. It's been a solid crowd tonight. But I've got to say about the Bobcats' positional hockey IQ, it's very impressive. They're not letting Eastern breathe. They have somebody on top of every time Eastern gets the puck. Somebody from the Bobcats are on top of them, and that's just great positional hockey.
Bobcats having a conversation with their netminder. I'm not sure if there's an issue with the ice.
Yeah.
No, the officials back down on this side of the ice. In fact, they're actually looking at an ice issue.
Get the sledgehammer, Tyler.
Get the sledgehammer out. And now Wells having to chase. He doesn't realize there's a man behind him, and now he does. Picks it up just a little bit. Now with it over to the far side. Now back to Wells. He's going to go behind the Eastern Washington cage. Surveys the ice. Crashing towards him is Belair. Eastern looking to set something up here. Maybe get something late. Build some momentum heading into the game tomorrow. Captain Wells with it. He dumps it in as soon as he comes across the center stripe. Hofacker loses his skates. But back to the stick of the Eastern Washington defenseman. Now ahead to Hofacker again. Jaden Hofacker looking to split the defense. Has his stick chopped from behind. And bounces back down into the corner. No icing as Eriks gets to it first. Over to the far side. Belair trying to get it up to Laughlin. As Duncan loses his skates. That one back into the neutral zone. Eastern a little out of sorts here, trying to get the right guys on the ice. Finally looks like 5 skaters that'll hang out for a moment as the Bobcats come the other direction. That one touched up right in the center of the neutral zone by Trepesky. Eastern again looking to work on their breakout here late in this one. If you're a coach in this situation, Gary, you get the puck like this. Is this something that you're teaching the player or asking the players to do, is kind of build up out of their own zone against this team, or are they just kind of taking it easy to get through the rest of the 2.5 minutes?
Well, I think they're trying to build off of it, to be honest with you. I mean, like if you look at Eastern right now, they still haven't quite figured out how to deal with the pressure the Bobcats are putting on them. And Montana State's done an outstanding job with it. But Eastern, they show signs that, okay, they finally figured it out. And then, like you mentioned, in the second period, a whistle would happen. They start getting some kind of rhythm and then some kind of stoppage, and then they lose that. So that bodes well for them tomorrow. But as far as a coach, if you're an Eastern coach, you're just kind of looking at, okay, what is actually the Bobcats doing that we can attack? And if you're the Bobcats, just do what they're doing. They're outstanding with how they position themselves.
Right in the center of the neutral zone, Pereira just kind of happened upon the puck there at just the right moment. Dangerous pass by Eastern Washington through the crease, about 6 inches off of the goal line. Another miscommunication by Eastern Washington.
But so if you look at the Bobcats, they're running a 1-2-2 system. And that's putting all kinds of havoc on Eastern because that first guy, he's making the defenseman do something, and they're dictating how they want to come out of the zone. And that's just the Bobcats doing that style.
Enter the final minute of play here on a Friday night in Cheney, Youth Hockey Night. And as we mentioned, tomorrow, Senior Night here at the URC. You can get your tickets at EWUEaglesHockey.com or at the door for just $10. The Roost will be open in a 21 and over capacity. Concession stands will be out front. It's definitely a night that you're not going to want to miss. Final home game for the Eagles before the Pac-8 Championship Tournament, the second weekend in February. The top 8 teams in the league will be here in Cheney. A little miscommunication by Eastern Washington. It's 20 seconds left. Hofacker going to try and bring it down the ice. And you're right, Tank just no quit in him tonight. There's 15 seconds left. He's still throwing the body around.
And that's just his style of play. I mean, that's how he always plays. And, yeah, I know the Eastern's going to be disappointed with this turnout. Bobcats are going to be ecstatic, but they can adjust. They can regroup and come back tomorrow and figure out a different attack against the Bobcats, and then we'll see how it goes. But I think you'll see a different Eastern team offensively tomorrow because defensively, even though Montana State got 10 goals, their defense wasn't that bad. They were just chasing a little bit too much, and that's where the Bobcats took advantage of them.
So Eastern drops the first one of the weekend, 10-1, at the hands of the number 1 Montana State Bobcats. Same 2 teams back at it tomorrow night. Get here early for the pregame festivities. It is senior night here in Cheney. For everybody here at Eastern Washington University men's hockey, for our camera gal Harper, our graphics gal Kayla, for my color guy Gary Allen, my name's Tyler Pisani saying good night. Go Eags, and we'll see you at the Barrel House.